Hi, I'm Owen Kelly, and today we have reporter Sydney Johnson interviewing former Westboro High School student Justina Demetry. Take it away, Sydney.
Hi,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So let me just know, how have you been doing, just overall, real quick, how have you been doing, in general?
I'd say I'm doing pretty good so far, I guess. I'm just getting a little sick of being home.
Okay, so you're home right now?
hmm
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
I
Yeah,
think
so
a little
I think,
delayed.
excuse me?
Sorry, I think it's just a little delayed.
Okay. I think it's pretty good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to start with some academic questions. So you're a second
hmm
semester sophomore at Umass Boston, correct?
Yep.
Great. So what are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in English with a minor in secondary education.
Okay, so what do you think your overall goal is then?
I'd say my goal is to be a high school English teacher.
Okay. So you're home. So that must mean all of your classes are remote or online.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So have you been online since last March?
hmm
Hmm. Um, yeah, how are you adapting to that? It's definitely a disappointment from, your freshman year, first semester. So how are you adapting to the online?
I'd say I feel like even though it's been a year, I still like I'm not really used to it. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's still really weird. It's kind of hard to pay attention in class. I feel like there's a lot of distractions. Things are just a lot different. Like it's hard to stay on top of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is online. Like I feel like I used to love technology and now I just hate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So are most of your classes live, or do you have any that are more, you watch lectures and you do the work?
Um, I have one that just posts the lectures. You just watch them whenever you can. And then I think the rest of them are live.
Which one do you prefer?
I'd say I would prefer the recorded lectures
Okay.
just because you can watch them on your own time. The only thing that sucks is you can't really ask questions if you need help. Like you kind of just have to learn everything yourself.
Yeah.
Um, but then I also hate the live classes because I feel like it's just not a good time.
Okay. Yeah, so with the classes or the class that you have to watch your lectures in, how are you managing your time? Are you doing okay?
Yeah, so I'll usually just watch them over the weekend. Like I'd say on Sundays, just getting everything done and just taking notes on it.
And then for the classes that are not in person, but the ones that are live, do you have any early morning classes that you have to get up for?
Yeah, so I have 9 a.m.s all week.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, so I feel like it's hard waking up, even though all I have to do is literally just get out of bed and log in. But for my Monday, Wednesday, Friday class, you have to have your camera on. So it's I have to wake up even earlier and just get ready and then log in. So I feel like it's kind of tough because waking up and staring straight at the computer is just
Yeah.
annoying.
How many people are in those classes? Because I assume that you still have bigger classes. That must be tough on Zoom.
All of my classes have 20 to 30 people.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah, not too bad.
And you said for the remote class that you have no really way to reach out to your teacher and ask questions.
I can, but I just feel most of the time we'll be I'll refer to the book or something.
Okay,
And
so
like, yeah.
difficult to manage. Sounds
Mhm.
like, sorry about that. Um, yeah, so you haven't been on campus. Is anyone on campus? Like, does UMass Boston have any in-person classes that you just aren't in?
I believe the nursing students are on campus and some of the athletes, but besides that, no.
How are you staying in touch with everyone then? Since you're all at home.
I say like I've kind of just kept in touch with like the friend group that I made freshman year, and like we just have like our little group chat that we'll talk in sometimes, and like occasionally we'll meet up at UMass Boston and just like see how things are going, or like meet up at my friend's apartment or something and just like relax for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you have friends that are close, it's definitely easier to manage, I would say. So for your English major, have you found, you went through the whole journalism course throughout high school. How did, like, anything you learned during journalism, how were you able to apply that in college?
So I took a few like women and gender studies courses, and I feel like the most important thing that I learned in journalism was like not to be biased
Mm-hmm.
and like check like the facts and like check other like news sources and stuff. So I feel like that's been super important. Like just make sure that everything you're reading is like credible and like not biased, and like reading other people's point of views, because like you never know if it's like the right thing or not. So I feel like that's been the most important. And then like when it comes to editing, I feel like I use that the most. But yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so you graduated from WHS in 2019, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So how would you definitely, I feel like a lot of people in your class were kind of not forgotten, but you missed half of your freshman year of college, and you're missing your sophomore year. How are you making up for that? Are you doing anything that's really trying to make up for that time, or do you feel like, you've kind of lost a lot?
I feel like we have lost a lot of time. I would say like I've definitely gotten closer with my friends from home, just because a lot of us are here now. But I guess like when it comes to like friends from college, like there's nothing I can really do besides like see them when it's possible. But it's also hard because like a lot of them live in the city, and I just feel like they're more exposed to COVID.
Okay.
So it's scary. So like I feel like whenever we have to do anything, like everyone has to get tested. Like we have to make sure like, oh, like you've been quarantining, like stuff like that. So it's a lot harder. I feel like you can't really make up for it until like we're all vaccinated and like things are normal.
Yeah, so with that, what did UMass Boston release any plans for next year?
We are planning to go back in person, which I think is like really fun and exciting, but it's not finalized, so we're still waiting.
If you do go back, you will be a junior now.
Mm-hmm.
Does UMass Boston offer any on-campus housing for juniors, or will you have to be off-campus?
So you can apply to live in the dorms, but it's usually like freshman priority.
Okay.
So, I mean, I wasn't planning on living at the dorms, but like you could if you wanted to. So me and a few friends are getting like an apartment in Boston.
That'll be nice, for sure. Different. So you're a college student. Do you currently have a job?
I do. I work at Apple part-time.
Oh, wow. So that must qualify you for the vaccine, correct?
Yeah, I've already gotten my first dose.
Oh, great. Do you feel like oh, sorry.
No worries, I get the second one next week.
Oh, great. That is great. Do you feel as if many college students are getting the vaccine right now, or do you feel like a lot of them aren't qualified yet?
I feel like not a lot of them are qualified unless you like have a job that like works with it, or you like live with someone who's over 75, I believe. I'm not too sure what the rules are, but I do know like once it's available though, I feel like everyone will take it. Or like
Yeah, hopefully. I know some schools are requiring the vaccine to go back, I'm pretty sure. Is that what your school's gonna do? Do you know?
They haven't said anything, but I feel like since Northeastern's doing it, I feel like we probably will too.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's and my like personally, I think it's really good because I feel like with everyone being vaccinated, like everything will be so much easier and like you don't have to have a lot of worries. Like it decreases the chance of like you getting hospitalized. But I feel like at the same time, like there are certain people who don't believe in vaccines. So
Yeah.
like I'm not sure how it's gonna be handled, but yeah.
Yeah. So, definitely being a senior in high school, a lot of us are making decisions on schools, on majors. I just want to know, like, when you got to UMass, how did you feel about your major? Were you originally going to go in as English?
No, I actually went in as human services.
Okay.
And then I switched to women and gender studies. And then I switched to history. And now I'm English. So I feel like being like if there's like one piece of advice I could give you guys is that you won't always stick with like the major that you pick first.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're gonna end up like learning so much and going to classes that you're gonna be more interested in. And I think it's totally okay to like switch your major and try new things. Like whatever you pick first, you don't have to be set on. Like it's okay to learn about more things and like put yourself out there, like get out of your comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah, that's definitely great to hear.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't really know what I want to do, and some schools don't really let you go undeclared. So definitely, it is good to hear. And was that transition from going to major, was that pretty smooth for you?
I'd say I think it was actually a little bit easier because we were online because it was just a form that like everyone could sign electronically. But if we were in person, you would have to go to like the department head, like a professor, and like then you would have to go to like the one stop, which is like our bursar's office. And it would just be a lot more complicated. So I think it was easier that we were online, but I do see how it would be difficult if we were in person. But besides that, like going from like the courses, it was very simple.
That's good. Definitely, hopefully relieves a lot of people of some stress. Definitely is stressful process, and
Yeah,
halfway
like,
through almost.
like whatever your major is, like you can always change it. It's never too late. Like this is your future. Like you pick what you want to do.
Yeah, that's great. Great information. Definitely. Um, so just before COVID happened, the good days in college, what were you what were you doing a lot? Clubs or activities? What was your best thing that you found enjoyment in?
Um, I'd say like I haven't done any clubs at UMass Boston. I think I've just been too busy with like work and school. But I think my favorite thing was just like meeting new people at college, like hang out with my friends, like just living in the city. So much fun. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. City schools. So when you're making your decision, because, a city school is a lot different than, a rural campus school, were
Mhm.
you deciding between the two different, like, sites, like the city and the rural, or did you kind of know what you wanted to do?
So I feel like I got accepted to schools in both,
Hmm.
but the reason why I picked UMass Boston is just because one, I feel like I don't personally like being stuck, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like if I
Yeah.
went to school in the middle of nowhere, I just wouldn't have fun. Like, I know myself, I would get super bored, which is why I picked UMass Boston because it's it's super close to the city. Like, it is in Boston, but it's also like in its own little corner. So it's like
Hmm.
if you ever wanted that like suburban feel, like you can get that, but you can also like go into the city and like do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's definitely great. Personally, right now, I'm choosing between two rural schools, so, everyone has their preference. And
Yeah.
definitely, Boston it's a great city. I love going there. A lot to do. So it's great that you were able to find things to do before COVID. And how were you able to enjoy the city, to say? Like, away from college, like what do you feel like living in the city that you were able to do?
I just feel like there's always an opportunity to meet someone. Like you build so many connections in the city, and I feel like working at the Apple store on Boylston Street, like I had like 300 plus coworkers, so
Oh,
like
wow.
met so many people. Yeah, and it was so much fun. I feel like there's always something to do, like even at night, like you can always go get dinner with your friends or something. Like there's always something open, which I think is really nice.
Mhm.
It's just like I personally like that more.
And while you're here, not in the city, a lot different, you said you're with a lot of friends here, which is good. How are they feeling? How do you think the general consensus is with this whole year?
I think we're all just really sick of it.
Yeah.
I just want to go back. We get like why it is the way it is, but I think we've just been on lockdown for so long that we're just getting sick of it.
Yeah, I'm sure. What have you been doing? I know you said that you hang out with your friends, but when you can, how have you been making the most of your time?
I think I just honestly just sit at home and like do some homework and spend time with family.
Yeah, definitely great. Feel like getting close to family. It's
Yeah.
definitely one good thing out of this. Spending time with people. It's pretty good. Well, it's great to hear that, you're doing well academically, it sounds like. Unfortunately, you guys are missing out on a lot of college, and do want to make it clear, like, I feel like you guys are kind of forgotten, but definitely, you're going through a lot. I missed high school, but you're missing college. It's definitely a lot of struggles going on. Well, it's great to hear from you. I hope the rest of your school year goes great, and hopefully you get to go back on campus next year and feel
You too.
safe.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I hope you have a good freshman year.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
So thank you so much for talking to me.
of course, good luck with your decision process.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much to Justina for